Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Sharon.
I had a 40-year porn addiction.
Porn was an unwelcome guest for 32 years of our marriage.
I found hope and freedom when I attended a Gateway to Freedom weekend.
And I found hope and the courage to begin my healing journey while attending Wives Care.
Don't be like us and allow porn to wreak havoc in your lives.
Reach out to Be Broken today.
To learn more about Gateway to Freedom 3-day intensive for men and Wives Care online groups, visit bebroken.org or call 210-822-8201. That's bebroken.org or 210-822-8201.
Why deepen our dialogues? Because dialogue strengthens connection to another person. When we have a dialogue, we learn each other and we grow deeper and we form a bond and a connection. And think about it. Do you want to go through life alone? Because we're made for oneness. Two people becoming one. Dialogue deepens your connection.
Good day, friends. Jonathan Daugherty here with another episode of the PSR podcast, which is a listener-supported outreach of Be Broken Ministries. And before I get started in today's episode, I want to invite you again to prayerfully consider giving toward our mid-year partnership invitation, which is called Deep and Wide. And this actually is going to end on July 31st. And when you partner with us, you're actually helping us to reach more people through this podcast with insightful and practical help from men, women, families, and leaders all around the globe. And so today I just want to invite you to partner with us. Please support Be Broken through monthly giving or a special gift so that we can continue to serve you and others in the months and years ahead. You can offer your gift today at bebroken.org/donate. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a PSR listener and for your partnership in this ministry. As we dive into today's episode, I'm going to sit down with my longtime friend, Dr. Stephen Cervantes, also known as Dr. Marriage, and explore a powerful communication tool for couples. Inspired by psychologist Aimee Moran's work with children, Stephen shares 9 meaningful questions that are designed to spark deeper conversation beyond the typical, "How was your day? Fine" exchange. So from reflecting on daily blessings to spotting God at work, these questions build curiosity, emotional connection, and intimacy. We also discuss how, especially in marriages healing from betrayal, meaningful dialogue is a true sign of heart-level growth. So these simple questions can genuinely transform how couples connect every single day. For daily insights from Stephen, you can visit drmarriage.org. For additional resources, you can visit our website at bebroken.org, or we're going to put some links in today's show notes that will be helpful in taking your next steps. And of course, friends, I want to invite you to rate and review the podcast after listening to help others find it. Now, let's dig into today's super practical conversation with Stephen. All right, we're back with Dr. Stephen Cervantes. How you doing?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, and so Stephen is our man that's full of ideas. You know, I've known you for over 25 years, and I'm like, I thought by now he'd run out of ideas, but I feel like, he's like a fine wine. He's getting better with age. And so drmarriage.org is where you actually post these thoughts. And that's where a lot of our podcast ideas come from, is Stephen doesn't have to create separate information for the podcast. He's just like, hey, let's just pop the ideas out there and see how it goes. Today's is a good one because, one of the things that I think happens a lot of times, especially in marriages, is and marriages that are recovering from a sexual betrayal of some kind, is you typically will have a man, the husband, where there's been a lot of, we've talked about it before, emotional stuntedness or just difficulty, like really communicating well. How many times are men just like one-word answers to questions in their marriage or whatever? And what we want to do is try to provide some questions today that will actually encourage conversation to go deeper than, how are you? Fine. It's like, how do we actually create more dialogue? So can you kind of kick us off there?
Sure. I was looking at some work by Aimee Moran. She's a psychologist that works with children and asks them questions to draw them out. And I thought, wow, I wonder if we could adapt her questions and and use them for couples, a husband and a wife in a conversation, helping them have more meaningful dialogue and creating a better emotional connection. So we took her questions and adapted them, and here they are. There's just 7 questions. We're going to go through them. And is there 7, 2, 4, 6?
I think there's 9.
There's no numbers on the sheet. There are 9 questions.
The 2 are bonus. We'll give you 2 bonus questions.
There you go. 7 and 2 bonus questions. Yeah. So here's number 1. What was good about your day? What was good? What was something good? So I'm asking myself this question, and I got my desk cleared off today. If somebody asked me, what was good about your day? That stuff was laying there and it was stressing me out. And you know what was good? I just got more peaceful feeling because I cleared my desk. That was a good thing about my day.
Yeah. And now I'm in a season right now in my life where this is the easiest question for me to answer, because almost every day of the week, and since I work from home now, we've got a office in our home, our granddaughter is at our house because my daughter is finishing out her occupational therapy doctorate. And so we get to watch, my wife watches the granddaughter. So all of my breaks from work are going and having like fun time with the granddaughter. So I'm like, that's easily
good.
What was good about my day, is being able to just
playing
connect
and
with.
laughing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that is too good. That was question number 1. Question number 2, what was hard about your day? What was hard about your day? And one thing that was hard about my day is there's a credit card conflict that has to be cleaned up. Something was charged. I hate having to go in and wait on the phone, and they say, I don't know, and we don't see it. And, well, it's like, no, it's there. Please rescue me. That was hard, just to be stuck waiting to break an impasse.
Yeah. I also have a financial thing that was hard. We just got hit with a really surprising tax bill this year, and it's one of those things where I wasn't thinking ahead, because you kind of get used to having certain credits and things with deductions, and then all your kids get grown up and all that goes away. And it's like, oh, okay. So, you think you're getting a raise when your kids are getting older because, hey, they're off the insurance, they're off this. And then the IRS comes in and says, by the way, we're just going to take all of it. So anyway, that's been a hard few days in terms of just tackling that.
So that was hard, right? That was number 2. What was hard? Number 3, did you learn anything from a mistake or a challenge that you faced today? Did you learn anything from a challenge, a difficult thing, or a mistake? I have to confess something here. I put a little bit of, I put a food package to my daughter in the mail, and I put a little dry ice in it, just like a pound of dry ice. I didn't tell the post guy I did. I went home and Googled it, and it said dry ice must be left open. It's gas. It must breathe or it will explode. I went back to the post office and said, I have to tell you. So they put an emergency stop. Because I'm thinking, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Clearly a mistake that I made. That I learned, don't put dry ice in postal packages that are going to get on planes. That could create a problem.
Yeah.
So that's something I learned.
Now, one thing that Stephen did not tell me before we actually pressed the record button was that I was supposed to have an answer for every single one of these questions. I'm sitting there going, okay, I know that I made some mistakes recently. Like, we're doing some web redesign stuff, and I'm going, okay, I learned a few things about how, some things got deleted, and I was like, oh man, I got to restore that. So I learned some technical things there.
There you go. That counts.
But you know what? One thing that I think is interesting about some of these questions is, like, even this one, did you learn anything from a mistake or a challenge that you faced today? Is, can we ask that question also with the idea of, I'm here to listen to you? Because sometimes, remember, men who've maybe they're getting into recovery, one of the core issues that we are having to deal with men in terms of recovery is deep shame lies. And this is one of those questions that can be triggering for a man.
Okay.
I think it can be triggering for either spouse. If the idea of like, oh man, I don't know if I want to admit my failures or what. Now that's part of growth, right? Is being able to say, hey, I messed up. There are certainly levels and differences to the kind of mess ups that we can have, right?
Right.
Listen, putting some dry ice in a package, different than saying I was not with somebody who's my wife last night. I mean,
Huge.
that's not what we're talking about here. The point that we're trying to make here is how do we go into deeper conversations than just how was your day? Fine, that's it. So I kind of want to make a little bit of that caveat, or just to recognize if there might be some of these questions that the stage that you're in could be triggering. It doesn't mean you can't ask them, but maybe seek to ask them in a gentle way and say, I'm just wanting to learn about your day, and this isn't about shame or whatever.
So I numbered them now. Number 4.
There we go. Good.
What made you feel happy, encouraged, or nurtured today? What made you feel some joy, some happiness, some encouragement, felt, nurtured? And just the idea of sending this little package of goodies to my grandkids, that made me feel really happy. The thought that they were going to eat these things, and my daughter would take a picture of the kids with crumbles all over their faces. And I mean, that just made me happy.
Yeah. Well, so just last night, and of course we're recording this well before it airs, but last night we were doing the last group meeting for the 10-week grace-based recovery group that I was co-leading. And what we try to do on that last week is there's kind of a celebratory tone. It's helping guys think about the next step. And one of the things we do is we do a blessing. So we speak a blessing over every single man. And that every time, that is so encouraging to me, because so many times grown men, have never in their entire lifetime had another man speak a blessing over them. And so tears were flowing. It so encouraged me, because I'm going, hey, these guys, they're going to make it. Like, they're on the right track, and that blessing is going to carry on with them.
That is so deep, like soul nurturing,
yeah, absolutely.
Right? That is good. Number 5, in what way did you grow, improve, or push yourself today? So I write a little blog on drmarriage.org for men to read. Some days I'm tired. Sometimes I think, well, it's good enough, but I know that it should be tweaked better. So I just keep pushing my little dialogue out there, hoping that it'll bless one man and he'll bless his wife, and then their marriage will grow, and God could use it as a seed to do something bigger. Mm-hmm. So I would say that's how I kept working on growth and improvement.
Yeah, for me, we're about to go into a staff retreat next week, and in terms of planning that, we try to. There's certainly some rest and just refreshment kind of stuff, but then there's also certain things we're going to be working on. And I had the exact same kind of thing, because there's a couple of things that we're going to work on that I was working out. Hey, what is the agenda going to be for that? How are we going to lean into that? And I had the exact same thought, Stephen. There was one of the sessions that I go, that's probably good enough. And I immediately felt like the conviction of the Holy Spirit going, no, you can do better than that, And it was like, okay, I got to lean in. We got to have a few more questions, a few more things to talk about there, So, yeah.
Good. So who did you help or bless today? Who'd you think about and reach out to with a word, a text? You did a little chore for someone, helped someone, carried their load. Who did you help or bless today? And I had a conversation with a young man yesterday, and he doesn't understand sadness. He does logic to the extreme. And so I said, I'm kind of lame in that I make up my own words, And I said, you're under sad, don't you? You're over logic and under sad. And he goes, oh, nobody's ever said that. It's like you don't slow down, you don't feel, you can't be present, you don't understand sadness is okay, nobody dies. So coaching him a little bit, I think, would be my, attempt to bless someone.
And you know what I love especially about this question is it's assuming that every day we need to be thinking outside of just ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not saying, did you bless or help someone today? It's saying who. It's like there's an expectation. It's kind of like I think of when Jesus was teaching on things like just what is it like to live life in the kingdom, and he's doing the Sermon on the Mount. He says, when you pray, when you fast, when you give. He wasn't saying, hey, are you going to pray? It's like, no, the expectation is you're going to pray, you're going to fast, and you're going to give. And so I love this because it's creating a really good expectation in your relationship that I want to expect that my spouse is going to help or bless somebody else today. And so for me, I could easily just piggyback off of the one I said for last night, but I won't do that because yesterday, I won't go into any specifics, but my wife was feeling discouraged about something, and she was at work, and I was sending her a text, and I just was able to send her a text and she really received the blessing of that. It was like I said what she needed to hear in the way that she needed to hear it. That is so good. And she was able to be like, okay, that blessed me,
Good job. What was something you noticed or stood out? Anything that you noticed today or anything stand out to you today? I'm in line at the bakery to get the sweets, okay? There's 15 people outside the door in line. And a guy has Jesus on his T-shirt. And so I started talking to him. And it turns out he knew somebody that I knew, and we took a selfie, and he sent it, and the friend sent a heart back, and I was standing in line. I had no idea God had this guy right there to bless me, to bless another guy. It was such a God thing, and it just jumped out at me, and I thought, wow.
That is really good. Unfortunately, I don't have something that immediately comes to mind, but it makes me... It does plant a seed of oh yeah, am I paying attention to my surroundings, and am I looking around? It's again one of those questions that's saying, how did you sort of live beyond yourself today, right? Were you paying attention to things that were going on around you?
Yes,
I like that.
That's good. So, what is something you're thinking about doing that would stretch and grow you? So, a friend of mine. I wrote hundreds of these little blogs, right? He said, I'm going to get ChatGPT to put them in a book. And so he sent me this thing, and I'm proofreading it right now. So what is something I'm doing to stretch and grow myself is to see what's possible. It just blew me away. And so I'm in awe looking at this little project, proofing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, mine is actually a book project too, and which we'll see if it ever gets done. I say that about every book I write.
They take so long.
It's just
People say, hey, why don't you write a book? I say, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. It takes a long time to read and reread and correct and lift out this and add that. This is a hard thing. Don't never say that to someone unless you want to mess them up. And say, hey, go write a book and spend the next 2 or 3 years, struggling, put it down, pick it up, going, that's what I said 3 months ago. I didn't even think, I don't think, sorry.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you can say to a person when they're giving a great idea is you should write a book about that. It's no. So anyway, but I am working on a book that's about life beyond recovery. So the idea of having a bigger vision than just thinking recovery is the rest of your life. It's what is the purpose of recovery? And it's beyond just being sober. So
look, he sounds smart again. He's going to write a book on life beyond recovery. Number 9, did you see God at work today? We should ask each other, did you see God at work today? Did he show up in any way? Were you aware of his presence?
And this is one This is one that I would probably even rephrase.
Okay.
Because again, creating the expectation that I will see God at work today. So either like where or how did you see God at work today? You know?
Yeah.
Because one of the things too about this is, you know, all of these other questions, and even with that rephrase of the last question, none of these can be answered with one word.
Right. That's true.
It's not like, is it yes or no question?
Yeah.
It's like, these are meant to create dialogue, right? It's meant to create conversation. And so that's what I love about these questions is that it's not the typical, how was your day? Fine. And then nothing, you know, there's no more.
So I don't have a specific example where I saw him at work. I just had a sense that he was the wind behind me. And he was pushing me along, and I was going to the next place and the next place and the next place, and it was just working out. It's like, man, that's the wind of God, the breath of God, the strength of God, the Holy something pushing me through things that could have been difficult.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to circle back to my granddaughter because it just, you know, in terms of how did I see God at work? I mean, I just watch her. And just to see the complexity and beauty and majesty of like life and going, that is a little image bearer of God. And there's just joy and wonder and curiosity. And I mean, she was competing with me for my Oreo cookie, you know, just things like that. I just love it. So I see the beauty and majesty of God in that little child.
That is so good. So here are some closing thoughts. Why deepen our dialogues? Because dialogue strengthens connection to another person. When we have a dialogue, we learn each other and we grow deeper and we form a bond and a connection. And think about it. Do you want to go through life alone? Because we're made for oneness. Two people becoming one. Dialogue deepens your connection. Questions and answers communicate caring and listening and deepening. So these questions are doorways to my soul and your soul, and to communicate that we care enough to listen and to ask and pursue one another. Number 3, you want to comment?
I was just going to say that's huge, and I want to sit on that just for a minute.
Yeah.
Because a couple thoughts went through my head about the idea that questions communicate care. You know, questions also communicate curiosity. Like I actually want to know whatever I'm asking. And so if you're asking that of another person, you're saying, I want to know you. I want to know your thoughts on this. I want to know how you process this.
Yes.
And that's huge because, again, thinking about the work that we do so much in this ministry of dealing especially with men and husbands who have become very self-centered, very isolated, very disconnected. Part of the way that we can know that they're growing in their recovery is their curiosity and asking of questions increasing. So in other words, are they asking these questions of their wife to learn her, to know her? That's a huge indicator that something at a heart level is changing.
That's good. And I'm piggybacking off what you said because curiosity builds intimacy. I'm just curious about that. What does that mean? Why'd you pick that word? What are you thinking? I'm curious about you. Oh, you are? You want to know me? Because I've been thinking, I want to be seen, and I want to be heard, and I want to be enjoyed. Think about your granddaughter. She wants to be seen and heard and enjoyed. And it's like I'm coming up with those 3 big needs. See me. Don't make me invisible. Hear me. Enjoy me. And that's where we're trying to get to with this.
Totally, yeah, that's great.
So keep growing, keep asking questions, and enhancing your relationship connection. You want to close with the prayer that's at the bottom of this?
Yeah, so the prayer is simply, Father, thank you for this relationship. Help me to continue to grow as an individual and as a spouse. Teach me to listen well, to ask meaningful questions, and to stay emotionally present. Help me use dialogue to deepen our connection and help our love mature. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
So let it be.
So if this has been helpful for you, if you're just curious to keep learning more and want us to come alongside and walk with you wherever you're at in your journey, please reach out to us. And we're so glad that you've been here, and we look forward to seeing you back here again next time on the Pure Sex Radio program.
God bless.
Take care.